Okay, so come to cutting the chooridar out on fabric. The fabric here is actually not very, it's very big width, but the length of this is only 1¼ yards. And generally, one of the biggest problems that we have is figuring out how to go about cutting this so that is adequate. So when you've got a pattern cut out, all you're doing is, according to the pattern, you're placing the pattern on the fabric, and out of that, now here what's happening is on this corner I'm coming out short, but if you remember, what we did was, when the chooridar is made, it's going to actually come like this, and this is a piece that we're going to add anyway. So to be honest, that's going to get cut out. So if we wanted, what we can do is just chop away this corner, and that way we can, from our excess fabric, we can cut out those two pieces, and we don't have to worry about having the length. So you can sufficiently easily make this without having to worry on how you're going to lay the fabric on top to cut the chooridar out. So personally, this is one of the beauties of so what we have now is we've got one leg cut out, and we can put away the sample for the time being, and we're going to cut the excess fabric that we've got left over, which is this, which generally just looks like a piece, but hopefully what we're going to do is cut out our second leg from this. Now there's just one thing to bear in mind. This fabric that I'm using has got a right and wrong, so what we're going to have is, on a fabric that has a right and wrong, you are going to have a piece that's going to fall. Okay, so what you're bearing in mind now is this has to match here, and that gets now. It may be that we may require a slightly bigger piece on the one side, but we've got to mess around with this to see where it's gonna, if it comes out right going this way, then we're gonna use that side. I think we're gonna get it this way. So we might have to have just a slight bit of an extra piece in the one leg. So it means that what we're going to have is a slightly bigger piece on the one side, but you know what, that's not a problem, as working with, I didn't expect this to be this much. Normally we cut this in 1½ yards of fabric and it's normally adequate, or in standard plain fabrics what you get is 2½ yards. But anyway, we're going to cut according to this, and still it's a good idea to get your pattern, because I'm going to demonstrate how on average you can benefit by actually making the chooridar from a lot less fabric. And you know, in big weight fabric, you probably see many of the videos that I've done on less fabric, but it is a difficult one. And the funny thing is that, you know, no matter how many times, it's a constant changing fashion where you may do a tutorial and to teach something, and then 2 weeks down the line you've forgotten what you did, even yourself. So on this particular one, this particular piece, we're going to have, on the one side we're going to have slightly less, and on the one side we're going to have slightly more. So I've still got the fabric. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these pieces out as well, because might as well get it over and done with. There we are. If we put this exactly like this and cut out, we sort of get an idea. Now we've got one of these pieces that's more and one that's less, so we'll take the one that's more, make sure that they're facing the right sides, because otherwise you'll end up cutting. So if this one is, then we have to make sure that this one is facing the opposite side. Okay, then we bring that back. Just to get an idea of where this piece is going to cut from. So this piece is going to and that basically, that's going to join onto that one, and this is going to join, and we're not going to apply a later cut. Oh sugar, this is what I was trying to avoid. Oh, ouch. Okay, we're gonna have one going the wrong way around. This is what I was trying to avoid, and I was trying to advise you against it, and I've gone and I think we might just manage. And that now just requires the belt. Now we've got limited fabric for the belt. Okay, we're gonna have to search out some fabric. I was too less fabric on this. What I have is, I'm sure I've got some pieces lying around for the belt, which we will search out and manage for the belt, hopefully.